Good evening, everybody. I'll call the April 16th, 2025 regular council meeting to order. And I just want to admonish Councillor Bone, you're not supposed to wear political shirts there. You're Montreal Canadians.
Everything I can for my brothers and sisters in Quebec.
Well, I'm with you, so it's okay. Just before we start, I'm just going to have some introductory remarks on, I'll tend to read most of this. On April 9th, we received notice from the province that it was their intent to bestow strong mayor powers to an additional 169 municipalities across Ontario, including Sioux. We have not requested strong mayor powers, and the notice of intent came as a surprise to us. We will be examining the impacts for the municipality of Sioux with respect to the expansion of strong mayor powers, and council will be reviewing the matter once more information is obtained so that we better understand the impacts. A few more things to go through here, but I do want to ask if council will support me in directing staff, the CAO, to bring a report to the May council meeting on this matter so the council can discuss it at council. So directed.
Notice.
And you'll be discussing that without me, which I personally think is appropriate. I'll be taking a vacation after 10 years. I'm apparently allowed 2 weeks vacation and I'm taking it. May 14th to May 31st, I will be out of touch, and acting mayor Bone will be acting mayor. So I think the discussion is best. There's nothing I can say at that meeting that would be viewed. Everything I say would be, oh my, he wants it. He doesn't want it. Like it's. I just feel it's a slip. Council should discuss it and decide what course of action, if there is any course of action, based on the report that the CAO provides. And CAO has already reached out to the province. We're getting more detailed information. I think he took off his CAO's hat and put on his clerk's hat and wrote a whole bunch of turkey type questions, and it's getting responses. And there will be a full report at the May meeting. And the powers apparently do come on May the 1st, but that's it. I mean, the CAO will talk about it, but they're excluded from the acting mayor. So
Yeah.
Knew something would happen.
yes. It's always been my belief that in our Ontario system, mayors have influence, not power. As the elected head of council, mayors have duties and responsibilities that place them in a leadership role. That leadership includes chairing council meetings, acting with the representative and spokesperson for the municipality at events in and outside the municipality, and acting as council's primary advocate for pursuit of council's goals for the municipality. The mayor's effective leadership is largely based on the mayor's respect for the council, and in return, council's confidence in the mayor. In my view, among the things that enable good leadership and make for a strong mayor are a commitment to good governance, fostering two-way confidence between council and mayor and the integrity of that relationship, respect for different opinions and beliefs, confidence in municipal staff from senior administration through all ranks, earning the respect of municipal counterparts regionally and elsewhere, earning the respect of provincial and federal ministry politicians and staff, and maintaining a firm line between the governance of the municipality through council and the operation of the municipality through staff. The influence, power, if there is any, of a mayor is earned, not bestowed. We will be seeking clarity from the province, other authoritative agencies, and colleagues in other municipalities related to this matter, and a report will be brought to council for discussion and determination of best course of action at the next council meeting in May. Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Through you, Mayor Lawrence, I haven't.
And a motion that the agenda for the regular council meeting of April 16th, 2025 be approved as presented. Moved by Councilor McGregor, seconded by Councilor Boone. All in favor? Carried. Q. Declarations of pecuniary interest.
Through you, Mayor Lawrence, I have none.
And adoption of minutes. We have the minutes of the March 19th, 2025 regular council meeting be approved as presented. Moved by Councillor Bone, seconded by Councillor Van Breda. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Motion that the November 5th, 2024 Environment Committee meeting minutes be received. Moved by Councillor Lego, seconded by Councillor Bone. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. And a motion that the January 30th, 2025 Kenora Home for the Aged and February 26th, 2025 Northwestern Health Unit Board of Health meeting minutes be received. Moved by Councillor Cassidy, seconded by Councillor Van Breda. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Adoption of items or determination of items not requiring separate discussion. 7.1 Federal Contribution Agreement, Project 9000084. And 7.2 2026 municipal election matters. And we'll lift that one. So a motion that the items not requiring separate discussion, item 7.1 Federal Contribution Agreement be approved. That's fair enough. Moved by Councillor Cassidy, seconded by Councillor Van Breda. All in favor? Carried. 7.2. The council authorizes the passing of bylaw number 25-25, being a bylaw relating to 2026 municipal election matters. Language to be used for election forms, notices of information, use of alternative voting method, use of vote counting equipment. Put that on the floor. Moved by Councillor Lego, seconded by Councillor Bone. And discussion, I think I saw two hands go up. So Councillor Van Breda, go ahead.
I'm gonna be pretty quick. So on number 1.1, it reads up that election forms will be provided in Ojibwe in addition to English. However, so I created this map back when I was at the Compartment at Slifna. Lac Seul and its surrounding Treaty 3 territories speak Ojibwe. So is it in Ojibwe and Ojibwe as well? Because they are two separate languages, right? So, or maybe could we say like Ojibwe / Ojibwe, like if asked or anything? Because yeah, like Lac Seul, Wabaskank, Eagle Lake, Wabaloo Lake, Cat Lake, Slate Falls, Mishkigogimang, those are all Ojibwe speaking communities.
CAO.
Through Mayor Lawrence, certainly, if we do proceed with translations into other languages besides English, we can certainly include Ojibwe, Cree, Ojibwe, whichever. We want to be as inclusive as possible.
Perfect. If you want to, like, I can give you this map if you like.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Councillor Costa.
I just wanted to talk about the marketing and the forms that go out. Last year or last election, most people in the rural did not get their information, and all of the information about voting was in the mail, and they didn't get it. So, and the reason they didn't get it is because the postal codes were the old postal codes used by the organization that sent them out. So they arrived after the election. I noticed that when I went to Kenora, they had, every restaurant, they had little pop-up information about the elections. They had it throughout the community. And since our community is such a transient community, I don't think that mail is an effective way. So many people rent a room. You rent a room from somebody, they're not saying, hey, this came in the mail. And we have a young transient population that might be worthwhile for us to do the little pop-up information things. They're not expensive, they're small, they're out there. I actually knew more about Kenora's election than my own because I didn't get any of the information. And I had to come to the town office, and when I had them look mine up, you actually had stacks of them that weren't delivered. And is there no process where if they come back to the town office that somehow we can ensure that they're the correct address and the address? And I know it's very laborious, but I mean, we did have a low voter turnout, and I really think that the lack of information was one of these.
Certainly through you, Mayor, thank you, Councilor Costa, great observations and great points. Yes, we certainly will be doing more this time around with respect to just information about the election in general, across all our platforms, but I'm also, I actually remember you talking about this, in the last one. And so I do actually have that in my file to bring forward as a way of sort of putting, key information in very, very public places, because we do know that not everyone accesses information in the same way. And that suggestion, along with any other ways of getting the word out about, who's eligible and how to qualify and how to make sure you're on the voters list, all of that type of thing, we will be ramping up for the 2026 election. With respect to the voters list itself and all the errors, I am optimistic that so from the 2022 election to the 2026 election, there has been an ongoing transfer process of who is responsible for the list. And so for 2026, and we've already been in contact, we've already started doing reviews of the data in terms of what they had for the list. We're confirming street names, we're confirming host names. And this is all through Elections Ontario now. They're going to be managing the list. So I'm optimistic and hopeful that we're going to have a much better list for the 2026 election. And as I mentioned, to their credit, Elections Ontario is very actively engaging with all the municipalities and all the election folks in those municipalities to start. Like I said, we started actually last October with this process of going through and confirming street names and confirming postal codes. So that it's really nice that they've engaged us in that, because we're the ones that live here. We know the difference between Mill Road and the Mill Road. We know the different, so I'm feeling confident. Myself and the election team are, like I said, very much engaged early. And I'm very pleased with how transparent and open Elections Ontario has been in terms of communicating with us and wanting to work with us. So I can't promise it's going to be 100% perfect. I don't know that I'm not even sure that they achieve that provincially or federally, but I am expecting much better improvement to the list itself. And yes, we are fully committed to doing what we need to do to get all the information out in as many channels and ways as we can.
Councilman.
Are we making a decision this evening on how we are going to conduct the election, vote by mail or telephone, internet? And I picked the latter. And as well, personally, I would like staff just to deal with most of the particulars and the election officials, as they're not running for council. So
To Mayor Lawrence, yes. We're recommending the telephone internet option. So after the last several elections, since this is becoming more and more popular over the last decade or so, a number of organizations, so AMO, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMCTO, the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks and Treasurers of Ontario, and others, in collaboration with a professor of give me the university that does the MPA that focuses in public administration at the municipal level, Western, I believe. And so they have been working with a professor to do these studies after each election to see the impacts on telephone and internet voting with respect to turnout, with respect to accessibility, with respect to security and integrity of the election process. And so what we've been seeing consecutively over the last 3 or so elections is that the use of telephone and internet voting is expanding. The measures that these third-party companies provide to ensure the integrity of the election have become much, much more robust than they were even, say, in the last election. Not that there were anything to worry about, but the added layers of security that they are now incorporating into their product to ensure the integrity of the election is really encouraging. So, and as we have in the last couple of elections where we use telephone or internet, not only, we're not just saying, okay, figure it out, vote at home, do your thing, but we have kiosks set up here for the entire election period. And then we have what I call pop-up voting stations at certain locations. So at Menillon, at the William George Extended Care, at the Friendship Center in Hudson. And so we also have our staff going around with the equipment and the aids to be able to help people vote who might not otherwise have the same access or may have difficulties. So, so we will be doing that again this time around as well.
My understanding is that by passing, carrying this resolution, we are adopting, is that right, the telephone internet now, right? Yeah, okay, it was right, okay. Just on voters lists. Is that, how's that, can you just tell me how that comes into play and how,
Sure. So the voters list.
so I ask because that always seems to be an issue, not just addresses or whatever, but I'm not on the list.
Absolutely. So thank you, Mary Lawrence. Yes, it's challenging at times because a key piece of the election process, regardless of what method you're using for doing traditional polls or vote by mail or telephone or internet, a key piece of the entire process is ensuring you have accurate and reliable and up-to-date addressing information so that people actually get the information they need to be able to vote. And traditionally, one of the things that's quite odd about the Municipal Elections Act is that of all the responsibilities of the clerk and the returning officer and the election officials, one area that we have very little input on, at least traditionally, has been on the voters list, which is kind of a key component of the whole thing. So traditionally, it had been prepared by MPAC, the Municipal Property Tax Assessment Corporation. And, you know, I don't want to be critical of their efforts. I think they did the best they could with the access to the information they had. But clearly, there have been significant gaps. For example, in the 2022 election, I wasn't on the voter list, so I had to go and see the deputy returning officer and fill out the paperwork and get myself added to the list. At that time I had lived here for over 15 years, and I've spoken to people who have lived here for over 80 years, and for some reason were on the list. So my hope in that the transfer of the responsibility of the list from MPAC to Elections Ontario, who, let's face it, their bread and butter is to run elections. And they really understand the importance of an updated, current, valid, accurate list. So, are they going to get it 100% right on the first election? Probably not. But like I said, they are much more engaging than MPAC had been in terms of giving us an opportunity to provide input and corrections early on in the process.
So to me, it would be important for early on that people are in this advertising of the election. Here's how you can check voters list. If you're not, here's what you do. That needs to get out early, right?
Absolutely. So that process, normally that process will get underway when the nomination period opens, which would be May 1st of 2026. And so that gives just under 5 months for people to check to make sure they're on the list or to come in and get added and so on. And so there's a variety of ways that people can check. There's an online way, but there's also, they can just come in and see us as well. Not everyone likes the online option, but that is one of the ways that people can check from this.
Thank you. Council, anything further on this one? Think nothing, no, and we understand what we are adopting here, that's clear. Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Delegations, there are none. Bylaws, sorry, so bylaws. Certainly.
To your influence, there are two bylaws this evening before council for consideration for 3 readings and passing, and they read as follows. Bylaw number 24-25, being a bylaw to authorize and direct the mayor and the clerk to execute a contribution agreement under the Northern Ontario Development Program Community Investment Initiative for Northern Ontario between the corporation and the municipality of Sioux and the Minister of Industry, who presides over the Federal Economic Development Agency for Northern Ontario, FEDNOR, agreement for project number 90084. As well, bylaw number 25-25, being a bylaw relating to the 2026 municipal election matters. Language to be used for the election forms, notices and information, use of alternative voting method, and use of vote counting equipment. So we will be looking for a mover and seconder that bylaws number 24-25 and 25-25 be read first, second, and third time. And last.
Moved by Councillor Van Breda, seconded by Councillor Lego, all in favor? Carried, thank you. No notices of motion, outside resolutions, helper reports. Councillor Van Breda.
It was a pretty short month, so just had the environmental committee meeting this month. And I met with George from the committee, and we'll be bringing a anti-litter strategy to council hopefully in the next couple of months. Also had a TRC committee meeting yesterday. It's been pretty busy with the upcoming Blueberry Festival, and also helped out with the forum that took place earlier this week. We had 5 candidates and it was a really good turnout. So I want to thank everybody who came out to that, and yeah, meet your candidates.
Thank you, Councillor Boone.
Quiet month as well. Just answering questions from the general public as usual, putting them on the right track of where to get the correct answers from staff, and looking forward to maybe a couple committee of adjustment meetings. It's that time of year. Other than that, vote it.
Thank you, Councillor Fosco.
I also answered a few questions from the public and I had a couple of conversations with Brian. I had a TRC meeting and we're trying to fill another cabinet with the museum items, which Reese and I took out to the airport, but the airport staff generously put it together for us and cleaned it, which was wonderful. We thank Ronnie for that. I've talked with Meredith. The items will be coming after the youth spring programming starts, so they're going to look at it. I think there's a lot of stuff for them to go through, so we're just going to leave it in their hands. And we have with the TRC, with the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, we have some big things planned for 2025. So hopefully we partnered with the Chamber of Commerce and we're hoping to do a TRC gala. So and also we're working with the Chamber of Commerce to try to relocate the memorial. So they have some great ideas. So hopefully those 2 big things will come to life and it will be good.
Yeah.
Councillor Cassidy.
Just the standard pace meeting last night. Hydro board meeting previous and tomorrow. And then I also attended the immigration session with some of the businesses in the community that are struggling with the changes to the immigration and losing staff. So that was well attended, and then just thanks to Jen for her efforts on and supporting that. It was great to see, and I think a lot of businesses appreciated it. So hopefully some change can happen, and then the higher ups can understand the impact that it's having to our community by taking so many people away from important jobs. So.
Thank you, Councillor Lego.
Yeah, quiet month. They moved the LCC meeting and I didn't see the notice of movement 2 days after the meeting, so that was my only meeting for the month, so that was it.
Very good. The usual district services board meeting, finance committee meeting, and governance committee meetings. Health unit board meeting and executive committee meeting, and I went to the immigration, the IRCC, Immigration in Canada. And that was for the local businesses. I'd met with some local businesses before and got some inside stories, and absolutely, this is a crucial file. And I know Jen's been working hard to administer a survey to the businesses and got some great information, which is being used to try and influence decisions, influence matters. We, with the CAO, I participated in a follow-up phone call for us, for the municipality of Sioux on the AMO report, Municipalities Under Pressure, which was their report on homelessness. And we had sent a letter to them and they wanted our input, and I think we had a great meeting and give them more input, and I hope there's some more follow-up after. Trying to influence what AMO advises the province to do. Participated in the AMO Health Task Force meeting. And just as one of the key things there was going through a municipal health survey, which is going out to all municipalities, went out in fact today, or we received it today. So at the task force, we were going through the draft and giving advice, and I see that some of the advice from a small northern urban remote community got in there. So that's good. And then they'll use the results of that survey. A lot of it has to do with what municipalities do for the healthcare system that isn't recognized by the province, really, and trying to say more and more, we're engaged more and more in healthcare in different, whether it's funding or whatever. So it's trying to get a real grasp on what the breadth of that is. With the Friendship Accord meeting, Maniawan, I attended the RAM clinic grand opening. There was a memorial service for Wendy McDonald at the library. I think that was this last Saturday. It was very well done, well attended. And a meeting with OPP Acting Inspector Christ and the CAO earlier this week on various topics. And I've met with this fellow over here a few times. And that's it. So I think now we're moving into closed session. So a motion the council moves into closed session at 5:55 PM. That matters of general nature as noted below. Subject matter relating to personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Section 239 2B of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, one item, appointments to council boards, commissions and committees, membership. And subject matter relating to a proposed pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, section 239 2C of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, one item, Hillcrest. And subject matter relating to a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board pursuant to section 239 2K of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, one item, revenue generation sources. Need a mover for this? Councilor Nagle, seconded by Councilor Cassidy. All in favor? Carried. In closed session.
percent to
It's fine.
something greater than
open session and report out to closed session. The council will ratify motions direction given to staff relative to the items presented in closed session on April 16th, 2025 as follows.
Thank you. So the first item arising in closed session is following a resolution. The council authorizes and directs the mayor and clerk to negotiate agreements and documents regarding the sale of the hereinafter described land by the corporation of the municipality of Sioux to Opus 69 Limited DBA Woodmere Developments, Block A, Lot 1, Hillcrest Drive. Move for a seconder, please.
Sorry, I don't usually negotiate the contracts, so.
Through Mayor Lawrence, it's, no, you're correct. This is our traditional language.
Okay, it is, all right, I'm sensitive to it right now, so I want to make sure that that's the typical, all right. Moved by Councilor Lego, seconded by.
Councilor Lego.
Thank you very much.
Got him.
Done that for 2 years.
I know, I was a little surprised. Wow.
This next item arising from closed session. Reads as follows. The council directs staff not to proceed with establishing a strategic plan, development advisory ad hoc committee due to a small number of applications. And further, that staff engage the public through other methods, including focus groups. And further, that council authorizes the passing of bylaw number 27-25 being a bylaw to rescind, bylaw number 10-25 being a bylaw to create and establish terms of reference for the strategic plan development ad hoc advisory committee.
Moved by Councilor Lego, seconded by Councilor Cathy. All in favor? Carried, thanks.
That is all arising from closed session.
Thank you. And we have this confirmatory bylaw number 23-25 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the municipality of Sioux Code April 16th, 2025 regular council meeting be read first, second, and third time in past. Moved by Councilor Cassidy, seconded by Councilor Boone. All in favor? Carried. We have reached adjournment at 7:05 PM. Thank you very much. Catch up with our